Alright, now, at this point you should already have a blank sheet of paper in front of you. At the top of that paper, I want you to put this awesome word that y'all are going to love. Pythagorean.
What is that?
Pythagorean. Alright. So I go ahead and get this out of the way. Everybody say pith.
Pith.
Ag.
Ag.
Orion.
Orion.
Pythagorean.
Pythagorean.
Pythagorean. That is the name of the theorem that we're going to be learning. Now, a theorem is a mathematical rule. Alright? Something that always holds true. Do not confuse it with a theory. A theory is not proven to be true. It's an idea. They say evolution is a theory because we haven't proved it. But this is not a theory. It is a theorem. It is a mathematical certainty. It will hold true every single time, no matter what. Pythagorean theorem. Now, a Pythagorean theorem, and I want you to write this down on your paper, only applies to right triangles. Only right triangles. It does not work for isosceles or any of those unless the isosceles triangle is a right triangle. Alright? It only works for right triangles. Anything else doesn't hold true. Now, what is a right triangle? Any triangle with a 90-degree angle. Alright? Any triangle with a 90-degree angle, the Pythagorean theorem will work. Now, this is the Pythagorean theorem. Write this real big, put stars all around it, little flowers and smiley faces. You have to know this. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. It's as easy as ABC. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. This is the Pythagorean theorem. You will hear this equation right here all the way up through college. Alright? Pythagorean theorem. Now, what that means. Again, what kind of triangle are we dealing with? A right triangle. So, if this is my right triangle, right here, I have that square to show me that that's a 90-degree angle. Now, when I'm dealing with A and B are the labels for the legs of my right triangle. The two sides going away from the right angle. So this could be A, this could be B. Alright? Which leaves this long line right here. What was that? What letter is that going to be?
C.
C. Now, A and B, it doesn't matter. One of them has to be A, one of them has to be B. You could change it and say, okay, well I want this to be B, and I want this to be A. That doesn't matter. But C has always got to be this long line. The one opposite of the right angle. It has to be C. Otherwise, the theorem does not work. Okay? So you've got to remember that. The name of this long line, does anybody know it? Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse.
It's an...
What is that word?
Don't quote me on the spelling, but hypotenuse.
What does that mean?
It means the long line opposite of the right angle. Alright, that is a hypotenuse. Only because that takes a lot longer to say. So, hypotenuse. And also, the state of Texas expects you to know what a hypotenuse is. They will ask you that in questions. Alright? A hypotenuse is only in a right triangle and it's opposite of the right angle. That's it. Alright? Hypotenuse is always labeled as C. Alright? Now, if there's a name for these, I don't know. I call them legs. I call A and B legs. I don't know why. Maybe another teacher told me that. I don't know, but I've always called them legs. They go away from that right angle, but hypotenuse is always opposite. Now, if you remember from your benchmark, you've seen a couple questions over Pythagorean theorem. What they're going to do is they're going to give you 2 out of the 3 sides. But they're going to leave 1 blank. Alright? So what you'll have to do is you'll have to plug in A, B, or C and then figure out what you're missing. Alright? So, I will give you an example here. Let's say we have this triangle right here. And let's say this is 4 and this is, well, here. Actually, let's say that. Let's go, this is 2 and this is 3. Alright? We have 2 of the 3 sides. Now, I want to know what this side is.
That's a hypotenuse.
That is a hypotenuse. I want to know what it measures. Alright? Now, this is where Pythagorean theorem is used. Now, look at your paper. Tell me, what is the Pythagorean theorem?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. You've got to memorize that. Alright? This is one of those few times where you have to memorize the formula. Alright? Now, which A, B, or C, which one do we not know?
C.
We don't know what C squared is. What is my A?
2.
Alright, we can say 2. Alright. So we'll plug in the 2 for the A. We got to keep it squared. And then that leaves B is 3. And we got to remember to keep it squared. Well, what is 2 squared?
4.
And 3 squared? So 4 plus 9 equals C squared. 13 is equal to C squared. Does anyone remember how to turn C squared into 1C? Exactly. How we turn C squared into just 1C instead of squaring it. Think about this. C squared equals 13 is the same thing as saying what number times itself equals 13. Right? Well, what does that sound like?
Irrational.
What number times itself equals 13? What does that sound like?
Did you square root?
Sounds like square root, right? Isn't square root? That's almost the definition. What number times itself would equal 13? So, what you would say is C is equal to the square root of 13. Now, if we wanted to figure out exactly what number is the square root of 13, we learned that yesterday. But right now, I'm fine with this being your answer. Alright, let's do a different example. If I could find one. I have one. Alright. Well. Alright, let's say this is 2 and this is 4. I do not know this side and I want to solve it. Well, my theorem is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. What do we not know?
A squared.
We don't know one of the legs. We can call it A or we could call it B, but we don't know one of those legs. Alright? We'll go ahead and say we don't know what A is. So, A squared plus, what's my B?
2.
Squared equals, what's my C?
4 squared.
Alright, solve this out a little bit. You get A squared plus 4 equals 16. Now, in this situation, we now have algebra. Now, we just covered algebra, so you should know the rules here. What should I do next?
A squared.
What? We want to take away that 4. We want to get our variable, which is A in this case, by itself. To get it by itself, we have to subtract 4 from both sides. And you get A squared equals 12. So what does A equal?
12.
12 square root of 12. Yeah.
Square root of 12. Very good. There you go. Now, alright, that's good. I'm going to start the recording here.